Scientists are calling this the most important prostate shrinking discovery they've ever come across. Urologists are having extraordinary success using it to reduce enlarged prostates and BPH. And they're shocked to see that after using this breakthrough, even their worst-case patients no longer feel the constant urge to pee. That they're able to once again empty their bladder 100%. And that they no longer suffer from late-night bathroom trips that interrupt their sleep. This newly discovered prostate reducer is also 100% natural, has no side effects, and costs pennies on the dollar. It's supported in hundreds of major human clinical studies that are double-blind, randomized, and placebo-controlled. And not only has this breakthrough been proven to dramatically reduce the symptoms of enlarged prostate and BPH by up to 93%, health experts are finding that it can help men to quickly and permanently conquer their ED too. That's because, according to brand new research from Harvard University, your enlarged prostate has been blocking the erection signaling chemical inside your body that's responsible for telling your penis to get hard, causing you to suffer from embarrassing and humiliating erectile dysfunction, while making you feel you're less than a complete man. Hi, I'm Brian Pine, and if you're suffering from an enlarged prostate or ED, you must keep watching this urgent video right now. Because in the next 7 minutes, I'm going to share exactly what this natural two-step method for shrinking your enlarged prostate is. All of the science behind how it works, including the specific double-blind studies that back up everything I'm saying, and how you can start using it today, so that you no longer struggle to empty your bladder fully, and so that the erection signaling chemical in your body is no longer blocked by your prostate. But before I do all of that, I need to warn you. Big Pharma is desperately praying that you don't find out about this, because this proven prostate shrinking breakthrough is so strong, yet safe, non-habit forming, and shockingly inexpensive. They're terrified that if this continues to go viral, it will cost them billions in lost profits. That's why they're already racing to patent this discovery, so that the only way you can get this prostate-reducing and ED-stopping secret is by paying a markup of 1,000% or more. So please, pay close attention to the following information, because it may be the only way to quickly and permanently restore your manhood and your quality of life. Just like it did for Ben in California, he writes, "The constant bathroom trips were driving me crazy. My enlarged prostate was making it impossible to sleep through the night, which meant I had no energy during the day. My performance at work was suffering, and I'd find myself irritable and cranky at home. In other words, it's fair to say that my BPH was ruining my life. I tried multiple drugs, including Flomax and finasteride, but the side effects made the drugs unbearable. I thought I was going to have to suffer through the symptoms of an enlarged prostate for the rest of my life, and it had me in a deep depression. That's why your presentation changed my life. I never realized that there was such an easy and natural solution for reducing prostate size. Yet within 14 days of following the simple steps you shared in your video, the urgency and frequency had already been reduced dramatically. It's now been 2 months, and my doctor is shocked to report that my prostate is back to normal. Every aspect of my life has improved. I'm happier, I'm better rested, and my relationships are stronger. Plus, on top of all that, I'm also getting the most powerful erections of my life. I can't thank you enough." And here's what Mike in Florida recently wrote in to say, "As a 64-year-old man, I'm constantly exposed to advertisements about BPH. The result is that I've become pretty skeptical whenever people tell me I can reduce my swollen prostate. It seems like most of the medications out there make things worse, and the supplements I've tried haven't made a difference. After watching your video and seeing all the scientific research behind the method you shared, I decided to give it a try. I'm so happy that I made that choice. My prostate symptoms have disappeared entirely, and I'm finally able to go through my day without the constant and embarrassing bathroom breaks. Thank you." Along with Ryan in Connecticut, who says, "I had no idea that my ED was being caused by my enlarged prostate. Using the breakthrough you told me about, not only did I beat my BPH, but I beat my ED too. This is an incredible 2-in-1 solution that every man over 50 needs to know about. Now, the stories from men like Ben, Mike, and Danny are far from unusual, and I'm sure you're anxious to see exactly how the prostate shrinking solution they're talking about works, along with how it can give you the firmest, fullest, and the most long-lasting erections you've ever experienced in your life. So let's go ahead and get started. As I mentioned before, my name is Brian Pine. I'm 59 years old, and I've spent the past 3 decades working for a large scientific research firm that's based here in beautiful Colorado. About 6 years ago, when I started experiencing the symptoms of BPH, which, as you may know, is the clinical term for an enlarged prostate, I really didn't think it was that big of a deal. I mean, so what if I had to pee a few extra times per night, right? Yet what first started as a small inconvenience quickly turned into a life-wrecking nightmare. Before I knew it, I was waking up 5, 6, even 7 times a night to pee. It was interrupting my sleep and draining my energy, and my waking hours weren't much better. In fact, it wasn't uncommon for me to leave my desk 10+ times during the workday, which, besides being incredibly embarrassing, as our bathrooms are located in the center of our research facility, was also affecting my ability to do my job, as I'd frequently end up missing important phone calls from our senior scientists. On top of all that, my love life at home was also really starting to suffer. Although I didn't realize at the time that this was also due to my enlarged prostate, I did know that while I used to be an animal between the sheets, I was now finding it increasingly difficult to get and maintain an erection. My wife thought that maybe I wasn't attracted to her anymore, which led to nights of her crying, us getting into fights because we were always on edge, and absolutely zero intimacy in our relationship. So, anyways, needless to say that my BPH kept getting worse. I became pretty desperate to fix it. When I went to see my doctor, he told me that having an enlarged prostate was just part of getting older, and he put me on Proscar, a drug that was supposed to help slow down my prostate growth. For the first few weeks, I did notice that things were getting slightly better. I wasn't peeing quite as often as before, and it made me hopeful that maybe I'd be able to get my BPH under control. Yet my feelings of hope quickly turned into dread, as I realized that this BPH drug was making me entirely impotent. I mean, I was already struggling immensely to get and maintain an erection before going on Proscar, but once I started taking it, it was pretty much impossible. When I asked my doctor if that was a common side effect, he just said, "Yes, that can happen," like it was no big deal. But it was a huge deal to me. It seemed like I was being told I had to choose between my prostate medication and my ability to ever have sex again. And considering that the medication wasn't even making that big of a difference, I decided to choose my sex life. And I threw my Proscar into the trash. Now in hindsight, it's probably good that I made that choice, as today the FDA requires that Proscar and similar drugs come with a label saying that they're linked to an aggressive form of prostate cancer. And there's now a ton of research directly linking Propecia, Proscar, finasteride, Avodart, and dutasteride to ED. Yet, even while getting off prostate drugs might have saved my life, I was still pretty damn unhappy. Going to the bathroom was becoming an hourly exercise in torture. I'd feel this urgent need to go, rush to the urinal, stand there for minutes until I got a tiny dribble, still feel like I desperately needed to go even though nothing was coming out. Then repeat that process again and again, day after day and month after month. On top of that, my ED seemed to be getting worse too, even though I wasn't on prostate drugs anymore, all of which was making me totally and utterly miserable. At this point, I thought about giving up entirely, and frankly, I probably would have, except that I wasn't raised to be a quitter. My parents taught me that when the going gets tough, you get tougher. And so I rolled up my sleeves. I made a commitment to find a natural, side-effect-free solution to my enlarged prostate. Of course, the obvious problem was, where do I begin? And while I didn't know exactly where to start, I did realize that working at a scientific research firm meant that I had a huge database of information at my fingertips. And so I got to work, trying to understand exactly what the prostate is and how it works, along with how I could shrink it naturally and without relying on side effect-filled medications. I must have poured through 3,000 scientific articles about the prostate, but the one that really stuck out to me the most was from Harvard University. You see, as Harvard doctors explained in the article, your prostate gland is located directly below your bladder and above your urethra, which is the tube that runs through your penis and that you pee out of. If you look at the picture here, your prostate is the red part that's circled. And when you're 20 years old, your prostate is about the size of a walnut. As you grow older, however, your prostate keeps getting larger. In fact, by the age of 40, your prostate has grown to the size of an apricot. And by the time you're 60 years old, it's the size of a lemon. Now, because your prostate is basically the connector between your bladder and your urethra, when it grows too big, it begins to block the bladder, stopping it from pushing urine to your urethra. The result of this blockage is that your bladder stays partially filled, creating that constant feeling of needing to pee. And because you're only able to push out a little bit of urine at a time, you also experience a weak dribbling stream. Plus, all the pushing can even make going to the bathroom painful. Now, all this was fascinating, but the next piece of research I uncovered really shocked me. You see, according to scientists and doctors at Harvard, there's another important chemical found inside your bladder that your doctor probably hasn't even talked to you about. It's called cGMP, and this chemical's sole job is to tell your penis to become hard. In other words, cGMP is basically the green light that tells your body it's time to have an erection. But as your prostate grows larger and larger, it becomes increasingly difficult for cGMP to leave your bladder and reach your penis. The result? Erectile dysfunction. In fact, it's now commonly known that an enlarged prostate leads to ED. Harvard Medical School has written about it extensively, and so has WebMD. Fox News has reported about it, and in a major study involving 4,489 men, a staggering 72% of all men over the age of 50 had both enlarged prostates and ED. While in another major study of 12,815 respondents, it was found that men who had enlarged prostates were up to 11 times more likely to suffer from erectile dysfunction too, which is pretty definitive proof of the link between ED and BPH. So to sum things up, my research showed that as you get older, your prostate gets larger. And the larger your prostate gets, the more difficult it is for your body to push urine from the bladder to your urethra. And the less of the erection-causing chemical cGMP is released to your penis. The result is that your bladder never empties entirely, and you always feel like you need to pee. Plus, your bladder muscles actually become thicker because they have to work harder to push urine to your urethra. And as these muscles become thicker, they also become more sensitive, which only increases the frequency with which you feel the need to go. Combined, these symptoms make having an enlarged prostate miserable. It can become impossible to sleep through the night without waking up needing to go to the bathroom. It leads to constant and embarrassing bathroom trips at work and at social events. And long-term, being unable to fully empty your bladder can lead to organ damage and even kidney failure, along with a humiliating erectile dysfunction that's ruining your sex life and your confidence. Now, traditionally, Big Pharma has tried to help men combat BPH in one of two ways. The first is a type of drugs called alpha blockers, like uroxetrol, Cardura, Flomax, and Rapaflo. These drugs don't shrink your prostate at all, but they do help to relax the muscles near your prostate, which can help urine flow more freely. The problem with these types of drugs, however, is they don't do anything about your swollen prostate, which will keep getting bigger and bigger. And they also come with some serious side effects, like fatigue, increased body fat, headaches, low testosterone, and blood pressure problems. That brings us to the second type of drugs Big Pharma prescribes to guys like us who suffer from BPH. These drugs are called 5-alpha reductase inhibitors, and they have names like Propecia, Proscar, and Avodart. As the name would suggest, these drugs inhibit or block a chemical in the body called 5-alpha reductase, or 5-AR for short. 5-AR changes testosterone into DHT, which is a chemical in the body that leads to prostate growth. So when these pharma drugs block 5-AR, they also block DHT, all of which means your prostate stops growing so fast. The problem with 5-AR drugs, however, is threefold. First, these drugs don't shrink your already enlarged prostate. They simply slow down growth. Second, like I mentioned already, they've been linked to aggressive forms of prostate cancer, making them potentially deadly. And third, virtually all 5-AR inhibiting drugs lead to erectile dysfunction and a lower sex drive. So, in other words, up until now, guys like us always had to choose from one of two options: alpha blockers that don't shrink your prostate and that can cause side effects like headaches, low testosterone, low blood pressure, and increased body fat, or 5-AR inhibitors that also don't shrink your prostate and that make the ED you're already suffering from due to BPH even worse. Well, I don't know about you, but neither of these seems like a good option. And what I realized was that if men really wanted to beat both their enlarged prostates and their erectile dysfunction for good, then they'd need a two-step solution. Something that shrinks your prostate back to its normal healthy size so you don't suffer from blockage, then helps you to naturally increase your production of cGMP so you're able to get thick and long-lasting erections pretty much on demand, just like when you were in your early 20s. In other words, I was looking for something that would turn your lemon-sized prostate back into a walnut, so that urine is no longer building up in the bladder, and so your body can once again easily send the erection-signaling chemical cGMP to your penis, ridding you of your ED at the same time. With these goals in mind, I began searching for the best natural ingredients that could accomplish both steps, so that the tens of millions of men suffering from an enlarged prostate and ED could find immediate and permanent relief quickly and affordably, and without needing to expose themselves to potentially side effect-filled prescription drugs that only make them sicker, or turning to well-marketed but ineffective supplements that do nothing but burn a hole in your wallet. To accomplish this task, I enlisted several of my colleagues at work, and together we sorted through thousands of superfoods, vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, looking for the world's most powerful ingredients for reducing prostate size, relaxing prostate cells, and improving ED, with an emphasis on ingredients that could do multiple things at once. From our initial list, we eventually settled on just 8 ingredients, and I'll go ahead and share them with you now, so that you can start adding them to your diet right away. Ingredient number 1, stinging nettle. Stinging nettle is a flowering plant that grows all over the world, and when it comes to reducing your enlarged prostate, it's one of the most effective natural solutions on the planet. In a randomized, double-blind, and placebo-controlled study that lasted for an entire year and that included 236 patients, stinging nettle reduced prostate size significantly, leading researchers to conclude that treatment with stinging nettle can therefore be considered a safe therapeutic option for BPS. Meanwhile, in another randomized, double-blind, and placebo-controlled study that lasted 6 months and had 620 patients, prostate symptoms were reduced by 50% when men used nettle supplements regularly, and lower urinary tract symptoms, which are linked to BPH, improved by 81%. All of which led the researchers to conclude that nettle has beneficial effects in the treatment of symptomatic BPH. Plus, in yet another randomized, double-blind, and placebo-controlled study, this one involving 100 men who were between the ages of 40 and 80 years old, it was observed that those who took nettle supplementation saw a 93% reduction in symptoms related to their enlarged prostates, with the scientists who conducted the study concluding that, in 3 clinical tests of BPH patients, nettle had a better impact in reducing patients' clinical symptoms than placebo. As a whole, nettle is recommended to be used more in treatment of BPH patients, giving its beneficial effects in reducing BPH patients' symptoms and its safety in terms of its side effects. Ingredient number 2, saw palmetto. Saw palmetto is one of the most frequently purchased supplements for reducing enlarged prostates, yet people often are underwhelmed by the results they get. The reason why is that most commercial saw palmetto extracts are made with the roots or leaves, which are cheaper. But that's a major problem, because while saw palmetto has been proven to be one of the most effective prostate shrinkers on the planet, you have to consume an extract from the actual fruit to get any of the benefits. For example, in a 2013 clinical trial that was published in the journal Phytotherapy Research and had 82 participants, over the course of 2 months, those who took saw palmetto fruit extract daily saw a 53% reduction in their BPH symptoms, while sexual function improved by 40%. which makes sense. Because remember that when your prostate shrinks, more of the erection-causing chemical cGMP is able to make its way to your penis. Plus, there's evidence that the longer you take saw palmetto fruit extract, the better your BPH symptoms will get. This was proven in a major study published in the journal Urology, where it was found that significant improvements in the symptom score was noted after treatment with saw palmetto for 2 months, while further improvements in BPH increased by 30% after 4 months and 46% after 6 months of taking saw palmetto fruit extract. And finally, in a major review published in the prestigious journal American Family Physician, 2 leading medical doctors concluded that saw palmetto appears to have efficacy similar to that of medications like finasteride, but it is better tolerated and less expensive, and that is highly effective in reducing symptoms associated with benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH. Oh, and I should also mention what happens when you combine stinging nettle, ingredient number 1, and saw palmetto, ingredient number 2, together. In a major study involving 431 men, and that was double-blind, randomized, and placebo-controlled, men were randomly given either a combination of stinging nettle and saw palmetto or the 5-AR inhibiting drug Proscar, finasteride. After 24 weeks, the men who took nettle plus saw palmetto saw a dramatic increase in the force and ease with which they could urinate. Plus, the saw palmetto and nettle group saw reduced prostate size and reduced BPH symptoms, and had virtually 0 side effects compared to the group that took finasteride. Okay, so once you've used stinging nettle and saw palmetto to shrink your prostate, it's time to turn to step 2, which is increasing your natural cGMP production so that you once again enjoy powerful erections whenever you're aroused. And you can finally break free from the embarrassment and frustration of having ED. With that in mind, let's turn to the 3rd ingredient. Ingredient number 3, epimedium, horny goatweed. Epimedium is sometimes referred to as horny goatweed, and just like saw palmetto, it's really hard to find a high-quality version of this supplement online or in the store. As a result, you might hear me mentioning horny goatweed and want to roll your eyes. But that would be a huge mistake. The truth is that in numerous studies where high-quality and pure horny goatweed extract was used, men saw rapid improvements in their erectile dysfunction. For example, in a major study published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine, horny goatweed was found to dramatically increase frequency, strength, and duration of erections compared to a placebo, leading the researchers to declare that it's a highly effective option for those suffering from ED. These findings are further supported by major additional studies published in the Journal of Andrology, the journal Frontiers in Pharmacology, and the International Journal of Endocrinology. And when Fox News recently interviewed 6 of the top medical doctors in Asia, they were quoted as saying that it's their go-to choice for fixing ED, something they've given to patients for decades with exceptional results. In case you're curious, by the way, the reason why high-quality horny goatweed is so effective for ED is pretty straightforward. It increases the amount of cGMP produced by the body. And as you know by now, that's the chemical whose sole job is making sure you can get erections. Ingredient number 4, Eurycoma longifolia root. Eurycoma longifolia, or E. longifolia for short, works in much the same way as horny goatweed. It increases the production and release of cGMP in your body, which can help make your ED a thing of the past. Plus, just like horny goatweed, the scientific research and proof behind high-quality E. longifolia is pretty overwhelming. In a randomized, double-blind, and placebo-controlled study published in the journal Evidence-Based Complementary Alternative Medicine, 109 men took either E. longifolia or a sugar pill for 12 weeks. The results? The men who took E. longifolia showed dramatic improvements in erectile function and sexual libido, while those who took the placebo didn't have any improvements to their ED, plus an added bonus. For those men in the study who were overweight, they also saw significant reductions in body fat and big gains in lean muscle mass after taking E. longifolia, which makes sense as E. longifolia has been proven to also increase natural testosterone production in men. In fact, that's exactly what a study in the International Journal of Preventive Medicine found. The scientists gave male patients either E. longifolia or a sugar pill, and they found that the men who took the E. longifolia supplement showed major increases in natural testosterone production and muscle strength, while those men who were given the placebo sugar pill didn't see any improvements at all. Now, there are literally dozens of high-quality studies about E. longifolia out there, and while we don't have time to go into all of them right now, I'll just say that in virtually every study, including ones published in prestigious medical publications like Andrology, Phytotherapy Research, the Journal of International Society of Sports Nutrition, and the Archives of Pharmacal Research, E. longifolia supplementation has consistently been found to help increase cGMP production, reverse ED, and increase natural testosterone production. So with the 4 ingredients I just mentioned, you've already got a powerful 1-2 punch. Stinging nettle and pure saw palmetto fruit extract have been proven in dozens of studies to shrink your prostate and stop your BPH, while high-quality horny goatweed and Eurycoma longifolia are proven to increase the release of cGMP to your penis. It's important to note, by the way, that in order to beat your ED, you really do need all 4 ingredients. That's because even though high-quality horny goatweed and Eurycoma longifolia will increase your body's cGMP production, unless your prostate size is reduced, this erection-signaling chemical will stay blocked up in your bladder and won't be able to reach your penis. And you'll still suffer from sexual dysfunction. That's why most ED supplements you buy won't work, by the way. They do nothing to shrink your prostate, which means they'll also do nothing to help you increase the frequency, strength, and duration of your erections either. So once my team found these 4 powerful ingredients, we could have just stopped. But our goal was to create the ultimate recipe, something that was guaranteed to help men reduce prostate size, beat their ED, and reclaim their manhood. So with that in mind, we also added in wild yam root extract, sarsaparilla root extract, orchic substance, and boron acid chelate. Because combined, these 4 additional ingredients have proven to further reduce prostate size, increase production of cGMP, and they increase your body's natural testosterone production too. Which means you'll burn away unwanted fat, have a higher sex drive, and build more muscle mass when you take them. Okay, so now that you have all 8 of the prostate-reducing and ED-beating ingredients, you're probably wondering if you really need to take all 8 of them in order to get results. It's a fair question, especially considering that if you were to buy each of the 8 ingredients as an individual supplement, you'll be looking at close to $150 a month. Plus, you might still not get great results, since it's virtually impossible to find high-quality forms of these ingredients in most retail shops or online, especially saw palmetto and horny goatweed. To be honest, though, it really is important that you do take all 8 of the ingredients I shared, and that you only take the most high-quality, safe, and pure forms of each. The good news, though, is that doing so doesn't mean having to swallow capsule after capsule each day, or that you'll need to spend a ton of money either. You see, once I personally experienced the effects of these ingredients firsthand, once I saw how my BPH symptoms just vanished in a matter of weeks, and how my ED simply went away, helping me to regain both my confidence and my vitality, I decided to dedicate my life to helping men shrink their enlarged prostates and beat their ED the natural way, just like I did, so that they could finally be free of the embarrassment, the discomfort, and the humiliation that comes from performance issues both in the bathroom and in the bedroom. And what I and my team realized was that if we truly wanted to help people, we'd need to find the fastest, easiest, and most cost-effective way to deliver all 8 of these natural ingredients to as many American men as possible. So we went to the lab and began formulating a powerful new solution, something that took the most high-quality form of all 8 ingredients, then blended them together into a tiny, easy-to-swallow capsule, something that anyone could take, and that would allow them to rapidly and effortlessly shrink their enlarged prostates. It wasn't easy to do this, by the way, especially because we had to include enough dosage for each ingredient to be clinically effective, yet still keep the capsules small enough that anyone could take them without trouble. And finally, after more than a year of working on formulations and countless dollars spent by our R&D department, ultralastxxl was born. Inside each bottle of ultralastxxl, you get the best, most high-quality form of each of the 8 ingredients I've shared in this presentation. Ingredients that have been proven in numerous studies to both reduce prostate size and rid you of ED, and in dosages that are clinically significant, not just trace amounts. ultralastxxl is made in the United States in a good manufacturing practices certified facility that prides itself on quality ingredients. And in addition to that, every batch of ultralastxxl is certified by an independent third-party laboratory, which means when you choose ultralastxxl, you can be confident knowing that the ingredients you see on the label are the ingredients inside every single capsule. So at this point, you're probably asking how you can get your hands on ultralastxxl as fast as possible, as well as how frequently you should be using ultralastxxl for the most benefits. The truth is that it's still pretty difficult for many men who have BPH and ED to get their hands on ultralastxxl. Unlike 99% of the prostate supplements on the market, ultralastxxl only contains the highest quality ingredients at clinically significant dosages. And combining all 8 of the prostate shrinking and cGMP increasing ingredients into a tiny capsule is not an easy process. It takes a lot of time and money on our part. And as a result of these things, it can take several months to make each batch of ultralastxxl. Plus, because the ingredients inside ultralastxxl have been shown to increase testosterone, sex drive, and muscle mass, while also helping you to burn fat, pretty much every guy who tries ultralastxxl keeps asking for more of it, because they fall in love with the way their bodies are transformed, both inside and out. On top of all of this, ultralastxxl is also becoming very popular with health experts and advisors, and many of them are recommending ultralastxxl to their clients as a safer way to beat BPH and reduce ED. Of course, this makes us thrilled, but it can also put yet more stress on our already limited production capacity. Like I mentioned, it can take several months to produce each batch of ultralastxxl. And as demand keeps rising, so does the amount of bottles of ultralastxxl we must produce, all of which makes it increasingly difficult to keep any bottles of ultralastxxl in stock. Now, with all of that being said, I don't want anyone to suffer from an enlarged prostate or ED for even a day longer than they have to, or to continue waking up in the middle of the night needing to use the bathroom, or to keep being humiliated because they simply can't perform in the bedroom, especially when it doesn't have to be that way at all. That's why in the next few moments, I'm going to share a rare opportunity to get your hands on a brand new bottle of ultralastxxl as part of our national End BPH campaign. Before I do that, however, let me return to the second question, which is, how much ultralastxxl will I want to take? That part's pretty straightforward. Simply take 2 small capsules per day for at least 30 days. Now, the reason that it's important to take ultralastxxl for at least 30 days is simple. While the ingredients inside this breakthrough supplement have been shown to start working in as little as 3 days, many of the major studies I mentioned found that the effectiveness of the ingredients inside ultralastxxl only gets stronger over time. In other words, while you may quickly feel like you don't need to go to the bathroom as frequently, or that you're suddenly getting powerful spontaneous erections for the first time in years, if you keep taking ultralastxxl for a month or longer, the benefits you see will only get better and better. That's why most health experts recommend you choose at least 3 bottles of ultralastxxl, and 6 bottles if you want to be completely safe. Then take it for at least 90 days. That way you can get the absolute best experience possible by shrinking your prostate back down to the size it was when you were in your 20s, so that it's no longer making it difficult to pee, and no longer blocking the erection-causing chemical cGMP from reaching your penis. That's exactly what Brandon W. in Oregon experienced. He says, "I can't even count all the ways that my enlarged prostate was ruining my life. The worst part of all was at social events, though. I'd be out on the golf course with my friends and need to pee after the first hole. By the 4th hole, it would be unbearable, so I'd go relieve myself in the woods. No big deal, right? Except by the end of the 6th hole, I had to pee again. It was just this constant urge to pee, and it was frankly embarrassing. I'd either need to pee constantly and the other guys would be looking at me like I was a nut, or I'd hold it in and be in pain. Neither was a good option. After I started using ultralastxxl, though, all of that's changed. Instead of peeing 15 times a day, it's now more like 3 or 4 times. Plus, I don't feel any urgency, and I'm not just dribbling out tiny droplets anymore. When I go, it's a powerful full stream. ultralastxxl gave me back both my sanity and my sense of control. Thank you. And Jeremy M. of Arizona, who tells us, within the first month, I noticed that the frequency of my bathroom trips had been reduced dramatically. But even more surprisingly, I also found that I was no longer suffering from sexual performance problems. Since taking ultralastxxl, I can get hard whenever I want, and these erections last until I'm finished. I thought I'd need to keep paying $15 a pill for Viagra for the rest of my life, but now I don't. So not only has ultralastxxl improved my health, it's also saved me a ton of money. Those are just 2 of the thousands of emails I get each month from guys just like you. And you should know that ultralastxxl is only available on this website, and only while there are supplies in stock. The truth is that I'm constantly worried about legal threats from folks in the supplement and pharmaceutical industries. People are furious that my team has created a product that actually works and that doesn't cost thousands of dollars like many prescription drugs do. I'm fighting back against all of these scumbags each day. But the truth is that they have a ton more money than I and my team do, and a big legal battle could force us to pull ultralastxxl off the shelves in a hurry. Hopefully, it doesn't come to that. But I tell you all of this so that you don't wait here, and that instead you take action today and say goodbye to the nagging need to go forever with ultralastxxl. ultralastxxl is the absolute best choice for those who want to reduce their prostate size and fix their ED for good. And it's something that will make a huge difference in your life, both now and in the years to come. I mean, just imagine how good it will feel to sleep through the night without waking up every 2 hours. To not worry about leakage or being incontinent or like you're not in control of your own bladder. To suddenly find that your ED challenges have just disappeared without taking a single side effect-filled drug. And to know this freedom from your BPH and ED will last for the rest of your life. All it takes is 2 capsules per day, and you could reclaim your manhood forever. Now, of course, that's not to say that there aren't other prostate or ED supplements on the market. It's just that they do come with some huge, glaring problems. For one thing, most of them don't make it clear where their ingredients come from, or if they're high quality. While in comparison, every batch of ultralastxxl is certified by an independent third-party laboratory for purity. That's really important because, as you now know, ingredients like saw palmetto and horny goatweed only work when they're of extremely high quality. Yet most of what you'd buy over the counter is just mediocre filler at best. Plus, none of these other supplements have been engineered to deliver clinically relevant doses of all 8 prostate-reducing ingredients. And none of the prostate supplements out there also have ingredients that increase the frequency and strength of your erections either, which means you'll always be getting incomplete relief using those supplements, if you get any relief at all. Then, of course, there are the prescription drugs we've talked about. And I'm not going to say they don't help. They definitely do, because they are drugs. But the problem is you don't want the dangerous and potentially fatal side effects that these drugs come with. Plus, both of the 2 main types of pharma drugs for BPH don't actually reduce prostate size. They just treat the symptoms without the cause. And they can even make your ED worse. And all of that not even mentioning the extra $2,000 or more per year that these drugs will cost you, which is money you could be putting away towards retirement or taking the family vacation of your dreams. So when you consider that none of these alternatives are even close to as appealing as ultralastxxl, you can understand why my team originally set the investment in this breakthrough to $149 per bottle, which, to be honest, we feel is extremely fair. $149 is a lot less than what you'd pay for each of these 8 ingredients individually. And it's a lot cheaper than another year on prescription drugs, too. Yet, while $149 really is a great deal, The truth is that it isn't about making a profit for our team. Of course, the money to pay our legal defenses against Big Pharma would be great. But ultimately, this is about helping men with BPH and ED to live a life free from discomfort and humiliation. That's why my team is offering ultralastxxl to the general public for the first time ever through our End BPH campaign. And why, if you act right now to make the life-changing decision to join the thousands of others before you, you can secure possession of ultralastxxl for just $69 per bottle, which is a 30-day supply, which will be shipped directly to your front door in a discreet package. Plus, that's just the start. My team and I understand that this isn't just about immediate relief from an overactive prostate. It's also about long-term relief that makes your quality of life better for years to come. And because we want to ensure that you feel happier and healthier each day, month after month, we've created a special discounted package plan where you can get 6 bottles of ultralastxxl for only $39 per bottle, a total of $234. This special discounted package is only being offered to you today through this website as part of our End BPH campaign, though, and only while supplies last. Plus, you'll get free shipping today, which is another $9.99 value, but both the special multi-bottle discount and the free shipping are limited. When I and my team run out of bottles of ultralastxxl again, it could take up to 3 months before another batch is available. So choose the 6-bottle package or any other package by clicking the button beneath this video now and securing your order. This is hands down one of the smallest but most important investments you'll ever make in your health, vitality, and well-being. A single bottle of ultralastxxl will stop your frequent and urgent need to pee. You'll find that you have an easier time emptying your bladder entirely, and there's no more dribble, and that you have a better time in the bedroom, too. 3 bottles of ultralastxxl will do the same thing, but the effects will be amplified dramatically. And with 6 bottles of ultralastxxl, you'll be reducing your prostate back to the size of that walnut I showed you in the beginning of this presentation, so that you effortlessly and easily urinate only when you truly need to, and so that your worries about sexual performance and ED are just a distant memory in the past. So at this point, I'm sure you're really excited, and you're wondering, how do I get started? Just click the yellow button below right now and choose the package of ultralastxxl that's right for you. You'll then go to the secure checkout page where you'll enter your order details. And within 5 business days from now, you'll receive ultralastxxl to your front door in a discreet package. So go ahead and click the button below now to secure ultralastxxl while there are still bottles available. This should be one of the easiest decisions of your life as well, because your investment is also covered by a 180-day, 100% money-back guarantee. Here's how it works. Start using ultralastxxl now. Start noticing how the urgent need to urinate disappears, how you're once again in control of your bladder, how your ED just vanishes and you become a rock star in the bedroom. And if for any reason you're not happy with your results using ultralastxxl, simply email or call our customer support team 24/7, and you'll receive a prompt and immediate refund with 0 questions asked. In fact, you don't even need to return your bottles. They'll be yours to keep as our way of saying thanks for putting your trust in us and our product. You have nothing to lose except your lemon-sized prostate and your trouble getting erect. It's a 100% risk-free investment. So go ahead and click the button you see below now to get started with shrinking your prostate and reclaiming your life. This presentation is now ending, and the choice is ultimately yours. One of your options is to stop watching this video and continue on with your day. That's absolutely your right, but what will change if you make that decision? How are you going to feel in a month, 6 months, or a year from now? If you don't take action today and your prostate keeps getting larger and larger, making it increasingly difficult to go to the bathroom, even though you're making more and more trips every day? The truth is that people often wait too long to act. Yet, if you do nothing, then nothing will change. That's why I want you to consider the better, easier path, which is to click the button you see below the video right now while there are still supplies in stock, and to start taking 2 small capsules of ultralastxxl every single day. You have no risk at all here. The only work you need to do is to swallow your capsules each day. Then just sit back and relax as this unique formula we've created goes to work reducing your enlarged prostate on a cellular level. Right now, you can get ultralastxxl for just $69 per bottle, and for even less than that if you get one of our more popular packages. Plus, you're also covered by that 180-day, 100% money-back guarantee, which means there's no reason not to try this breakthrough out for yourself today. When supplies run out of ultralastxxl, though, could be 3 months until we get more in stock. And when our End BPH campaign ends, the price goes back to $149 per bottle, so that we can at least break even, instead of losing money on each bottle like we currently are. All of which means you really must act now. This is your decision, and this video is now finished. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless. Sincerely, Brian Pine. Hey, you still with me? No worries. I realize that we covered a lot of stuff. Right now, let me go ahead and answer some of the most common questions people ask. That way, you can make the decision to invest in ultralastxxl with 100% confidence. 1. How are my enlarged prostate and ED linked? Remember that your prostate sits between your bladder and your urethra, which is the tube that runs through your penis and that you pee out of. As your prostate gets larger, which happens as us guys age, it blocks the passage from your bladder to your urethra. This means your bladder is not able to empty entirely, and you constantly feel like you need to pee. Well, inside your bladder, there's also a chemical called cGMP, which is the chemical that's responsible for telling our penis to become erect. Your enlarged prostate blocks cGMP from reaching your penis as well, which is what leads to erectile dysfunction. 2. How does ultralastxxl help with both BPH and ED? ultralastxxl has a 2-step mechanism that helps with both BPH and ED. The high-quality nettle root and saw palmetto fruit extracts inside have been shown in dozens of studies to reduce prostate size dramatically, while the pure horny goat weed and E. longifolia extracts increase cGMP production. The result is that not only does your prostate get smaller, leading to a much easier time urinating and a reduction in feelings of urgency and frequency, but you're also releasing more of the erection-causing chemical cGMP into your bloodstream. Because it's no longer blocked by the bladder and can actually reach your penis, the result is that with ultralastxxl you can conquer both BPH and ED at the same time. 3. How long does it take to see results with ultralastxxl? Each person is different and results will vary, but typically people start reporting a noticeable difference in their first week. And the longer you take ultralastxxl, the more the benefits are amplified. 4. What are the terms of the guarantee again? ultralastxxl is covered by a 180-day, 100% money-back guarantee. This means that after you've ordered ultralastxxl today, you have a full 6 months to decide if it's right for you. If you're like the thousands of men who already take ultralastxxl regularly, you'll be thrilled by the breakthrough you experience. But if you're not happy for any reason, simply call or email our customer service team at any time, and you'll get a full refund of your investment with 0 questions asked. 5. How long will ultralastxxl be available? It's hard to say for certain. While my team's goal is to get ultralastxxl into as many hands as possible, the truth is that folks in the supplement and drug industries are furious about this product, and they're trying every means possible to silence us. I don't know how long we'll be able to fight them off, which is why I'd urge you to try ultralastxxl today, especially since it comes with a 180-day, 100% money-back guarantee, which means you can start taking ultralastxxl without any risk. 6. Okay, I want to try ultralastxxl. How do I order? That's the easiest part. Just click the button you see below, choose the package of ultralastxxl that's right for you, then complete your order. It takes about 60 seconds. After that, ultralastxxl will arrive at your door in about 5 business days from now in a discreet package. And remember that there's no risk because of the 180-day, 100% money-back guarantee. So go ahead and order now. And we look forward to hearing about your experience with ultralastxxl.